Welcome to Down for the Count, where we create top 10 lists of the greatest things in life and count them down slowly, one item per episode, savoring every last morsel of top 10 goodness. Are you ready?
Michael.
Yes, sir.
This is our sixth episode, our sixth topic in this series.
Our sixth topic. It's like our eighth episode.
It's
So
like
anyway,
our eighth.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of them have been so absurd they had to be split into two
That's
episodes.
true. We did do astrology. It was so nice. We had to podcast
and
it
an
twice.
introduction, which we had to
Sure.
introduce all of this so we could pretend like we. Anyway, yeah.
It's the sixth topic.
yes.
So, stepping back, I thought about the level of work it takes to believe any one of these, let's call them conspiracy theories or odd beliefs that people hold, okay? We just talked about this, and we assigned karate belts to them.
Yes.
So if you're a white belt, Michael and I are white belts, we don't believe really any of these.
We don't want to put any work
Right.
into
What it takes
what
to
it
believe.
takes for this, or even if you were taking it from someone who's going to progress in the pelts,
Yes.
they haven't done any of the work yet.
Not any of the work yet. But if you put in some work and just try to take logic and mess with it a little bit, you can believe that Elvis lived.
Yes.
Even if he's not alive anymore, you believe the conspiracy theory that he survived, lived beyond 1977, went to Argentina or wherever he went and lived on.
Yes, it's just you could just believe it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to put any work behind it. You
Yeah.
could just go, yeah, I don't believe that.
That's yellow belt
It's one
conspiracy.
thing you don't have to believe
Yeah.
is that he died.
If you put in actually quite a bit more work, this is a leap, to go from yellow to orange belt, to believe in the existence of Bigfoot.
Yeah, because you have to start to ignore a lot of very obvious things.
Right.
That no one has taken a clear picture of him. There's been no genetic evidence. There's no so you have to really not believe some things, but it's pretty harmless. There's it's the people believing that an animal exists that doesn't really exist.
And you don't have to spend years finding ways to believe it. You can just kind of pick it up.
yeah,
You can watch an A&E special.
sure.
What was that show that Leonard Nimoy narrated in the
In Search
70s?
Of.
In Search Of.
That's right.
You can watch an In Search Of and come away believing that Bigfoot's out there and earn your orange belt. Believing in alien life visiting Earth, that's when you really got it. You have to dedicate yourself.
Yes.
The evidence against there being extraterrestrial Earth visiting us is you really have to put in years of work.
Well, and because you also have to convince yourself that you engaged in it.
Right.
That
Yeah.
they abducted you.
Yeah.
You saw it. It's
Or that anyone saw it.
right, but
Yeah.
a lot of people who believe it, they have imagined firsthand knowledge
Yeah.
that it happened. That requires a lot of work.
It does.
to maintain that fantasy
Right.
in your mind.
And to be able to deny the overwhelming evidence about the unbelievable distances that you have to travel
Yes.
and the amount of fuel and energy required. So you have to put in a lot of you have to turn logic into a pretzel.
Yes.
But you really, really need to set aside logic to believe in astrology. That is when you earn your blue belt
Absolutely.
in this insanity karate, we'll call it. And, we talked about that a lot. To believe that, our lives are determined by the placement of the planets and stars when we were born.
the second we were born.
Yeah.
That everything's predetermined.
I mean, I could see believing that if you're a Sagittarius. That's
Well, of course, you Sagittarians.
if you put in a ton of work. You study for a while and you decide, you know what? I'm going to take logic, put it in a pile, shove it away. You can believe in the Illuminati.
Yes.
That they were able to perpetuate for centuries.
And
Yeah.
no one leaked it. No one.
Yeah.
In the with the advent of the internet and everyone having cameras and recording devices.
Zero evidence.
And do you think don't you think the Illuminati would have a podcast?
Definitely.
I mean, we have a podcast.
I would listen
for
to
God's
that.
sakes.
I would listen to the Illuminati podcast.
Illuminati today.
Same as Illuminati 17 years ago.
What are we hiding today?
What are we doing? But you have to dedicate your life. You have to study. You have to sit down with charts, and you need to get math involved.
Like, that Charlie Day meme where he's standing in front of the board with all the red lines all over it?
Yeah.
That's the level of crazy.
In order to believe that the earth is flat.
Of mental jujitsu.
That is black belt conspiracy theory.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, we do a decent amount of research in preparation for these podcasts. And of course, Neil deGrasse Tyson is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Big fans. He was asked about this once, and he was not able to dignify it with a response. He said, to get into a debate, if you have something that is empirically incorrect and there is no evidence, you are not able to prove it in any way. He could not even get himself to begin, and he eventually did.
Yeah.
And he knocked it on its tush. But it was, it just so far from being able to take it seriously that it really is a new level.
Yeah, I can't, when did you first become aware that people thought the earth was flat?
Well, I mean, I'm going to admit right now, I was a flat earther for 3 years, and then I turned 4.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So,
if you don't know anything, like if you don't have an opinion, does that mean you're like, if you don't even think about the shape of the world?
Yeah.
Are you really a flat earther, or you just not have no opinion?
I think you to be a true flat earther, you have to argue it. You have to come with the airtight defenses.
So yours is, you say you didn't think that the earth was a sphere for the first 3 years of your life,
right?
Because you didn't think of it.
I didn't think of it, or I looked outside and it was flat. Hello.
I don't know. I just never would have thought it. And I guess also we've had a globe in our house since forever.
And anytime if you just see a globe in a classroom, it's over at that moment.
Like, the one thing I didn't come across, and a lot of the things, and we'll get to it obviously, but we always jump around with this kind of stuff, is like little kids.
Yeah.
You don't think that they think the world, like, what little 8-year-old goes into a classroom and sees a globe,
yeah,
and looks at it and goes, "That's a lie."
Yeah,
that's a lie. Maybe he lived in Zion, Illinois, back in the early 1900s. Maybe,
yeah.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things that, as I was reading more about it, I am speechless.
Yeah.
As to how people can believe it.
Yeah.
It's like, because these people don't believe that gravity exists.
No.
Because I will often, even before all this, often will use things about, when people talk about, we'd get into evolution and, where people argue that evolution doesn't exist, that we're creation world or anything like that, I'd say, well, you don't have to witness something to believe it. That gravity, it exists. Look, I'll drop this pencil to the ground. It exists. You don't have to believe it. It's going to happen nonetheless.
Absolutely.
You could make that argument to these people and go, well, no, gravity just doesn't exist. I'm like,
yeah.
But it was...
Let's do a quick rundown of what flat earthers, people who believe that the earth is flat, what they believe.
Yes.
Just to just put it all out there. Flat earth belief is the idea that the earth is a flat disk. It's not a sphere.
Right.
The North Pole sits at the center.
Absolutely.
So somebody sat down and decided what the center is, and it's the North Pole. But it's no longer the North Pole at that point.
Right.
It's
and
just
so, that's one thing. Did you find anything as like, what does north, south, east, and west mean?
I guess one can deduce that that it's just relative to where other things are on the flat disk, like a compass. That things are just.
But I guess you'd have to say everything then would point north.
Yeah.
But then how would it be a magnet?
This might be my favorite one, and I can't even dignify. I can't even. I can't do it.
I'm saying these questions knowing that there's no answer.
I can't respond.
But
I have
just
nothing.
can't. I just can't.
Nothing.
I just can't.
This one. There are so many that are good. Antarctica is a giant ice wall,
150 feet high. No airplane has ever flown higher than 150 feet.
No.
Like,
and so you get to the edge, and then there are like cops. There are guards who will not allow you to go past.
Because no one's ever climbed a mountain that's 150 feet tall.
150 feet is impossible.
Impossibly tall mountain.
And you think somebody would have just, in the middle of the night, just snuck over and just...
podcast listeners, I looked over my right shoulder, looked over my left shoulder, and then proceeded to climb a 150-foot ice wall.
Yeah.
To look over at least look over the side. Just look.
Yeah. I mean, Drogon destroyed the ice wall.
No kidding.
And that is way more believable than this idea that there is an ice wall.
All of the events of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Are 100% more believable than flat Earth.
100%.
If you said, look, you have to believe in one of these things.
Yeah.
That Game of Thrones is real.
Yeah.
Or that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
I would say, well, I guess Game of Thrones is real.
Game of Thrones. There is a woman who is impervious to fire.
That's
you just
right.
light stuff on fire.
Well, then
She's
she
totally
should
cool
go to
with
the
it.
ice wall and melt it, and then we'll find out what's
there
on the
you
other
go.
side.
Lost opportunity. This one's good too. The sun and the moon are small local objects, meaning they're 3,000 miles away?
3,000 miles away, yes.
And they're moving above this disk.
In the firmament.
And
they're spotlights.
Gravity isn't real. And this is explained that it's replaced with, quote, density or upward acceleration.
It's the density of the heads of the people who believe in it. Well, and that's the thing is, if you think about acceleration, gravity, the acceleration of gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared.
Okay.
And what does acceleration imply? That things are moving faster and faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
So if, as flat earthers believe, that the disk is moving vertically, so up.
Yeah.
Perpendicular to the surface of the Earth at 9.8 meters per second squared, it would continually accelerate because the universe is a vacuum.
Yeah.
Like in the atmosphere, you can't travel more than like 130 or 140 miles an hour down.
Okay.
It's called terminal velocity.
Okay.
Because the force of gravity can't overcome the friction of the atmosphere. So that's why you can't just go infinitely fast down.
That's why.
But when you're going through space, which is a vacuum, you could accelerate to infinity. So therefore, the Earth eventually would go to the speed of light. So what happens? Do we wink out of existence? Do we go back in time? As time goes on, is time going slower? Because the closer you get to the speed of light, the slower time seems to be. It's called time dilation. It's like, I thought of this off the top of my head. In 45 seconds?
Right.
Yet these people believe that gravity doesn't exist.
That's why it's a black belt endeavor.
Oh.
You have to take everything you just said and find ways to punch holes in every single fact. You have to deny the laws of physics in order to even to get to the door of the fictional castle of believing that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
The other one is that governments and scientists are involved in a massive cover-up. So all of the governments of the world, all of the people who have been to space and have photographed it and have
even recently
now
today Today.
Today.
The day we record this, Artemis 2 is going around the moon. This thing that's supposedly 3,000 miles away.
Yeah.
And they're taking photographs of the globe. Even if you compare what they did in Apollo 8, when they didn't land, but they went around the moon.
Yeah.
And they took a picture of, the big, Earthrise. And they showed the recent picture that they took from space. Guess what? They look different because they were taken from different sides of the Earth.
They're artist renderings is what they are.
Photoshop.
They're Photoshop.
Photoshop.
Even before there was Photoshop.
Now it's
it was
AI.
Photoshop. So they do believe in the existence of other planets, and the other planets are spheres. It's just the Earth that's a disk, I believe.
Which I really can't believe. It's like, why bother?
Yeah.
Why bother believing in other planets?
Why
just say they're just points of light in the firmament that God put there?
You just deny. I mean, Mercury's not going to get upset. It's not even going to care. Just deny its existence.
Don't even get me started about how Uranus would
Uranus would be extremely upset. It would be offended. But
Yes.
Uranus is extremely sensitive.
That's right.
To these sorts of things. And so that is what flat earthers believe. And this has been around for centuries, millennia. And you know what?
Well, really, again,
Yeah.
it's sort of been around for millennia.
Yeah.
Because I can understand if it's 4,000 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
3,000
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
You're not exposed to anything except for what's going on right around you.
You're right.
So for all intents and purposes, your world is flat because you're not traveling more than 10 miles from your world.
So centuries since
the 1800s,
people put a stick in the ground and watched the shadows that it cast, and were able to prove that the Earth was something that was revolving, that was a sphere in space.
Like Pythagoras, in the 6th century BC,
right?
So we're talking 2,500 years ago, plus, basically said, we're on a globe.
Yeah,
this is a sphere.
Yeah,
mathematician looking at the stars,
right,
came to realize that that's what it was. And you know what? Most people believed it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, he's a smart guy. He was right about angles and theorems and stuff like that. I'll believe him. No. I just also don't like hiding what? Like, what benefit? Because you can kind of say, okay, the Illuminati.
Yeah.
They control things. They just, it's
you can
all
say Elvis, it makes you feel better that you didn't lose an icon.
Yeah,
sure.
You give a reason.
Yeah.
What is the reason? What is the benefit of the Earth being flat?
It comes back to the psychology of being right and being part of a society.
But there are
that
so
knows
many
something.
other crackpot things to believe in.
Because it's black belt level. It is so insane. You need to climb the Mount Everest of illogic in order to get there.
Because it just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Because even in like astrology, you could say it's fun.
Yeah.
It's goofy. At its base level.
Although,
you do it for entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Even though, yes, people believe in it.
People believe
it's,
it,
it's billions of dollars. We went in to listen to the other two podcasts we did.
Right.
But, and the other thing, and this again is really harmless. Like, who cares what these people believe? But it's like, why though?
Right.
I really want, and even like when I read these scientific articles about these people that they interviewed and they go into the psychology of it. I mean, you have the I always forget the crude Dunning effect, Dunning-Kruger effect, and all this. And it's like, it's all the, with cognitive bias and all this kind of thing. It's like, but why? Like you really, truly, if you believe in something this bananas, you really can't believe anything these people say.
Yeah.
Like can't.
Right.
Because everything they say is going to be colored.
Yeah.
With this, I mean, if I found out that this is one of the rare ones, I think I'm a pretty open to, you can believe what you want to believe.
Right. Right.
But I think if I had a friend who told me they believed the Earth was flat, and I went into it and I'm like, you're just clowning, right?
Yeah.
Like, you really, no. And they're like, no. And they went into all this. I'm like, Don't call me anymore.
Right.
I would block their number and be
You
like,
would just...
because I think these people are dangerous.
You would unfriend them in person.
Yes.
Just put up a hand
and just
back away.
I would just press the right on their forehead to hit the unfollow button.
Unfollow. Unfriend.
I just can't believe it.
Yes.
It's the one of all of these, even the ones we haven't done yet, that make me a little angry.
Yeah.
That these people believe this.
Yes.
Because it's almost like I think that this is all like the whole flat Earth society is really I think it's like they're just punking the globe.
So you think that there's a percentage of people who just don't buy it, even within that they're doing it. They want to be different. They're doing it for a goof.
I think there are some.
Yeah.
It's like I am of the conspiracy theory that no one actually believes this.
Yeah.
That it's just people are just clowning.
Yeah.
But it's real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real in that people believe this.
I believe there was a poll taken of a number of Americans. I believe that there was 16% of Americans that were not entirely sure that the Earth was a sphere. It was a scary, scary number. And it was not as much as astrology, because there are people who put some degree of faith in astrology.
Which was like 90-some%.
Is a much larger number. But that anyone, it just boggles.
And really, this has been going on, and this isn't necessarily an American phenomenon. It's actually developed in the UK.
Okay.
Okay. In the UK. Okay, in the UK. Samuel Robotham. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He doesn't deserve to have his name pronounced.
Right.
I'll call him Samuel Robotham. Born in 1816. He basically, all of flat Earth belief goes back to this guy.
Okay.
Modern. All the other stuff is like hearsay and because even like the medieval church belief the Earth was round, but it kind of was told that the Earth wasn't round because Columbus like made up that reason.
You
that
can
he
almost
says,
excuse the pre-scientific era
again. So but it's really all goes back to this guy,
Mr. Roboto.
Kind of like the autism, theory guy.
Yeah.
It was one guy who made something up. Okay.
Right.
He was basically working in Cambridgeshire, and he published a pamphlet, as you did at the time.
Yeah.
Called Zetetic Astronomy. And that's kind of early flat earther was called Zetetic Astronomy.
Sure.
A description of several experiments which prove that the surface of the sea is a perfect plane and that the Earth is not a globe.
No.
That was, and he came up with the Earth as a flat disk centered at the North Pole, bounded by a wall of ice at its perimeter, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff he said.
Yeah.
He came up with it. Out of whole cloth. He invented it out of his mind.
Yeah.
Zetetic is Greek for proceeding by inquiry, meaning you just keep going based on experimentation that you perform. He basically found that the things that he could observe directly are the things you believe in.
Okay.
And so
sure.
He did what's called the Bedford level experiment, or he repeated it. No, I'm sorry. He did the Bedford level experiment, and it was repeated by this guy Wallace in 1870. And then the results confirmed that there. So in the guy who was trying to prove the other guy, he proved that the Earth was a globe.
Okay.
So now this guy Robotham, just to give you an idea of how fine and upstanding citizen he was.
Yeah.
At 46 years old, he married a 15-year-old girl.
All right.
With which he had 15 children.
Wow.
Of which only 4 survived.
Okay. They probably walked off the edge of the Earth.
He just catapulted them off the face of the Earth and trying to perform that, trying to prove that the Earth is flat. He was implicated in multiple wrongful deaths.
Okay.
From selling quack phosphorus cures. If you don't get enough phosphorus, you won't catch on fire.
No.
He patented a life-preserving cylindrical railway carriage,
which is a nickel for every time I heard of that.
I mean, it kind of makes me think it's like the bariatric chamber that Michael Jackson used to sleep in.
Sure.
Like that just kind of reminds me of when I heard that. his professions, so his resume,
Yeah.
were chemist, physician, journalist, and soap boiler.
All right.
How do you get that phosphorus without boiling soap?
No, you can't.
So anyway, he died. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
he died. Then Lady Elizabeth Blunt created in 1893 the Universal Zetetic Society.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And published a magazine, quote unquote science journal, The Earth Not a Globe Review. That was the title.
Okay.
She argued that one could not be a Christian and believe that Earth is a globe.
Yeah.
So that's how you get people.
Yeah, that's how they get
Is
you.
If you don't believe it, you're going to hell.
Right.
That's how you get people to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible was the scientific authority that she took. That said some notable members, some taught at the Trinity College of Dublin, which I hope doesn't exist anymore, because anyone that teaches there that believes this stuff needs to, and this society remained active well into the 20th century. But after, like in the 1920s, it just kind of lost favor. Then
It's because of
passed.
Prohibition. People couldn't drink anymore.
I know, and they're like,
what?
What am I thinking clearly?
How drunk was I?
So this is when it kind of came to America.
Okay.
God bless America. If you believe it's flat Earth.
Yeah.
So it rolled across the ocean, waded across the ocean, because it's flat. It's easier to do that
very
way.
easy.
Through a guy named Wilbur Glenn Voliva. He was leader of the Christian Catholic Apostolic Church, so kind of a non-denominational everything.
Sure.
Catholics will go, what? That doesn't sound like Catholics. And he basically ran the town of Zion, Illinois. It was what they called a theocratic dictatorship.
Okay.
He was mayor, and he basically ran it with an iron fist. He controlled 6,000 followers in the Zion church, who basically everyone in the town went to his church. He even dictated their marriage choices. He banned the teaching of a globe Earth in Zion schools.
Okay.
So these are the kids that never saw a globe in school. He had a radio station, which was the first evangelical radio station in the world, and he would broadcast flat Earth doctrine all over the world because, back then there aren't that many radio signals.
No.
And if you have a strong enough radio signal, it reached as far as Australia. He offered a reward.
That's pretty close to that's dangerously close to the edge.
Well, it's because you get some rebound off of the big Antarctic wall.
That's true.
So that's why it's just a big echo chamber.
Yeah, it's a big echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He claimed the sun was only 32 miles in diameter.
All right. That's
and
fair.
3,000 miles away.
Okay.
That's where that, that's big. 3,000 miles.
Right.
is
And
a
that's
big,
stuck.
Yeah.
That just stuck.
He offered a reward of $5,000 for anyone who could disprove the flat Earth under his conditions.
He must be right. Then.
Yeah. So he wanted to, William Jennings Bryan, super anti-evolutionary guy.
Sure.
Was a senator, basically,
Yeah.
big politician. He wanted to run for president.
Yeah.
And then Voliva suggested that he be his vice president so they could just go the 1-2 punch of getting rid of evolution and globe Earth theory.
Hey, just
get rid of it all.
Take
basically.
it out with the wash, yeah.
Eventually, believe it or not, he went bankrupt. And a disgruntled employee, probably a glober, as I like to call them, burned down his church.
Okay.
And basically, the Newtown authorities, I guess they had a car registration sticker, and the people that took the town back over basically made it a globe.
All right.
Just to say F you to this guy.
Oh, man.
He was forced to put on his car in order to drive around the town.
That's beautiful.
He died in 1942 after confessing publicly that he had misappropriated church funds. You think?
Fantastic.
He had also previously claimed he'd lived to 120 on his diet of Brazil nuts and buttermilk.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he changed hymns to terrestrial ball to terrestrial plane. I mean, total bananas, this guy. Okay. Then I'll just kind of go over these because they're all pretty similar. This guy, Samuel Shenton, he started the Flat Earth Society, which remains to this day. And
alive and well.
In the things that I've been reading, it's like there are a lot of people who believe in that the Earth is flat, that think that the Flat Earth Society is a bunch of quacks.
Right.
That they think that the Flat Earth Society was put in place by the government to make it seem like flat earthers are crazy.
Ah, okay.
So that's why, I said they're all clowning. It's because the government is in control of the Flat Earth Society.
Right.
That's a big one. And then, their big one is like, well, water isn't flat. That's the big one. You put a ruler on the water and it's this. It's like, well, of course, anything that small,
right,
you're going to, think is that.
Right.
And whenever you bring up something in regards to orbit, they say, well, I could sail around an island. That doesn't mean I orbit the island. It's like, I would just kind of, have you ever had a conversation with someone who doesn't remember something you remembered?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I mean, total, someone's just, and you kind of think you're a little bit insane. Like, are you crazy? Like, did I really not remember this? Or did this happen?
Yeah.
It must be like to have a conversation with these people.
Yeah.
At all times. Like, I almost can't go into the rest of the more modern stuff. It's basically, the internet, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. This guy, Mark Sargent, who, if you see his name come across your YouTube feed, just go run away.
Just smash your phone.
Yeah.
In anger.
Just smash it in anger and go, live in the hills
and
somewhere.
run.
Run to hit the Antarctic wall.
Right.
Because that's the thing, too, I don't get is how do they explain the weather?
Well,
like how do they explain that when you go, quote unquote, north and or it's way south, if you're on the equator, it gets colder?
Well, how do they...
If it's flat, it would all be the same.
How do they explain that it is nighttime on half of the Earth and lit and light on the other half?
The only way I can kind of...
Oh, don't be defending your flat Earth brethren here.
A lot of what I read...
Yeah.
They believe that the moon and the sun are spotlights.
Of course.
And so therefore, as they move,
if
you have a spotlight, it's only going to shine on a certain part. It's not a diffuse.
Sure.
Like, you're thinking globe. You got to think out. You got to think so outside the box. You can't see the box.
I got to get out of the box.
It's basically more like a theater light.
Okay.
That just shines on part of the Earth.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's how, but
right.
But then wouldn't it just get immediately dark behind it instead of there being, You know what
I'd like to see?
Hang on.
I'd
for
like to see...
podcast listeners, I've taken off my glasses.
Yeah, it just
pinching because it's hurting my brain.
It hurts
to talk about this.
I'd like to see 6 people, each of whom represent one of these beliefs, but each of them believes the other 5 is crazy. I'd like to see those 6 people talking to each other, convincing one another of their beliefs, but the other 5 all believe that the person who's speaking is absolutely nuts. But they believe in their own insanity. I think that would just be a great sketch.
Well, because I think yes, because I think some of it some people, they believe it because it's religious based.
Yeah.
They think it's just, God made it that way.
Sure.
Why would he make it any other way?
Right.
You can't walk around a globe.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
Duh.
And some, try to put science into it.
Yeah.
Where, but it's a lot of it. Everything I read about flat Earth theory is like you said, it's the black belt.
Yeah.
It's the big leagues.
It's the big leagues.
If you believe in flat Earth, you'll believe in anything.
Absolutely.
You'll believe anything.
Absolutely anything.
And you just have to have a good story.
Yeah.
Because you don't need evidence. You don't need science. You just have to have a good story.
And you have the one guy who believes that Elvis survived. He's like, you guys are kooks. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even want to proceed.
Even people who believe,
belt.
Technically, if you believe in astrology,
yeah,
you can't believe the Earth is flat.
True.
You can't.
Yeah.
So everyone who believes in astrology also believes that the Earth is a globe.
Sure.
That's how bananas this is.
Yeah.
That people that take astrology seriously know that the Earth is a globe.
I'd like to see an astrologist,
a flat Earth astrologer,
and a flat earther just go at it.
Or you have to find the unicorn, the flat Earth astrologer.
Yeah. Okay.
To see how they could twist.
Yeah.
How they could twist the logic of houses and sections
Yeah.
and rising and all that.
And then both
when everything's 3,000 miles from the Earth.
and then they're both just like mauled by Bigfoot. I mean,
And
just what are the odds of that?
And then you'll never find them because they're abducted by aliens.
Yeah, true.
And we'd never hear about it because the Illuminati would cover it up.
Deal.